The Tragedy of Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. Explanation. Synopsis. Act 1, Scene 1. A street in Rome. Because Caesar has returned from his victory over Pompey's sons, the working people of Rome have a day off to celebrate. Flavius and Marius, two Roman officers, are angered by the celebration because they see Caesar as a threat to Rome's republican rule. They disperse the crowd and remove banners and signs honoring Caesar. Scene 2. With a full entourage, Caesar marches through the streets of Rome. He has arrived just before the races that are part of the celebration of the Feast of Republic. From out of the crowd, a soothsayer warns Caesar to beware deeds of march. Caesar dismisses the man as a dreamer and continues with his attendants. Lagging behind, two Roman senators begin discussing their fears that Caesar will gain even greater power and take away the powers of their class of Roman aristocracy. Cassius, a long political enemy of Caesar, begins to flatter Brutus, a friend of Caesar. Cassius' flattery is designed to prompt Brutus's feelings about Caesar's growing power and to determine if Brutus is willing to join the conspiracy to kill Caesar. Caesar returns from the races and sees Cassius and Brutus talking. He tells Antony that he does not trust Cassius because he has a lean and hungry look. Casca tells Cassius and Brutus that the crowds offered Caesar a clone 3 times and that Caesar refused it each time. This information adds to the misgivings that the men already have about Caesar. Brutus admits that he is dissatisfied and agrees to talk to Cassius later about his feelings. Scene 3. A street in Rome. During a violent stormy night, Cassius recruits Casca to the conspiracy. Despite portents, the storm seems to hold. In a further attempt to recruit Brutus, Cassius instructs Cinna, a fellow conspirator, to place an anonymous note in Brutus' chair, throw one through Brutus' window, and fix yet another note to the statue of Brutus' father. Act 2, Scene 1. Brutus' garden. Alone in his garden, Brutus decides that Caesar must be assassinated because of what he might become, a tyrant. The conspirators join Brutus and decide they will kill Caesar the next day at the Capitol. Brutus convinces them not to kill Antony because that would make them seem too murderous. Portia, Brutus' wife, enters after the conspirators leave and pleads with Brutus to tell her what is troubling him. Although he fears that she will not be able to bear the news, Portia proves her strength by wounding herself. After that act of courage, he tells her. Scene 2. Caesar's house. Calpurnia, Caesar's wife, sees evil omens in the night's storm and asks Caesar not to go to the capital. He agrees until Decius, one of the conspirators, plays on his pride with a flattering interpretation of Calpurnia's dream and convinces him to go. Scene 3. A street near the capital. Artemidorus reads a paper he plans to give Caesar warning him about the conspiracy. Scene 4. Another part of the street. A very nervous Portia sends her servant boy Lucius to the capital to gain news about Brutus. She also questions the soothsayer for news of Caesar's whereabouts. Act 3, Scene 1. Rome before the Capitol. Caesar ignores the warnings of Calpurnia and the 2 others and goes to the Capitol. There he gives an arrogant speech and is murdered by the conspirators. Antony approaches the conspirators saying he understands and forgives them and asks to give Caesar's eulogy. Brutus agrees against the wishes of the more realistic Cassius. When left alone with Caesar's body, Antony vows to seek revenge against the conspirators. Scene 2. The Forum. Brutus gives a logical and emotional speech, winning the crowd over the suggestion of making Brutus the new Caesar. Antony hearts the crowd's support for the conspirators with a masterful speech that plays on Claudius' emotions. Antony learns that Octavius and Lepidus are staying at Caesar's house and that Brutus and Cassius have left the city because of the people's reaction to Antony's speech. He plans to meet with Octavius and Lepidus to suggest that they join forces. Scene 3. A street in Rome. The enraged crowd attacks the poet Cinna and rips him apart because they think he's one of the conspirators. Act 4, Scene 1. A house in Rome. The triumvirate of Antony, Octavius, and Lepidus plan to pursue and destroy Brutus and Cassius. In their preparations, they coldly compile a death list of anyone who might stand in their way. Scene 2. A camp near Sardis. Brutus waits for Cassius' arrival by speculating that their relationship has deteriorated. Scene 3. A camp near Sardis. Brutus and Cassius argue violently over Cassius allowing his officers to accept bribes. The quarrel ends when Cassius learns that Brutus's anger is really the result of the news that Portia is dead. That night, Brutus is visited by the ghost of Caesar, who tells Brutus he'll meet him at Philippi. Act 5, Scene 1. The Plains of Philippi. The two armies meet and the generals argue over who is at fault. When nothing is resolved, they return to their armies and prepare for battle. Brutus and Cassius vow to win or not be taken alive. Scene 2. The Fields of Battle. Brutus sends a messenger to Cassius instructing him to attack Octavius. Scene 3. The Fields of Battle. Retreating from the onslaught of Octavius' troops, Cassius sends his trusted friend Titinius to see if the oncoming troops are friends or foes. Seeing Titinius suddenly surrounded by the troops, Cassius mistakenly believes they are enemies. Having lost all hopes for victory, he takes his own life. Brutus burns Cassius the death. Scene 4. The Field of Battle. Lucilius, masquerading as Brutus, is captured by Antony's troops. Antony honors him for protecting Brutus. Scene 5. The Fields of Battle. When he sees that the battle is lost, Brutus lands up on his own sword rather than being captured. Antony gives a moving eulogy over his body, proclaiming him the noblest Roman of them all. In a gesture of goodwill, Octavius agrees to pardon all Brutus's men and take them into his service. The civil war ends with an omen of peace for the future.